All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Uh, Trying to read the comments, but whatever. I'm going to leave the comments alone tonight. I am not going to be looking at the comments much tonight. We got a lot of shit to cover. So yeah, if it seems like that I'm ignoring you, I am. I'm ignoring you. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to get distracted because there's a lot to fucking talk about. There's a lot to cover. Um, we also, which I should start out by saying this, let's handle the 5 by 5s and get that out of the way. Ozark Prepper, WTC, Adriana, Patty, Joe, Prep to Adapt, Fritz Bum, thank you for the 5 by 5s. Nostra Dumbass, thank you for the spam by treats. Randy, Oki Khan, Dobie, Deanna, sorry, Carrie, PJ, Beef and Chicken, Amanda, Jeremy, thank you for the 5 by 5. Craig, thank you for the 3 by 9 by 40. Kathy, Jay, Kathleen, Groundhog, Mike, Independent, Loretta, Spotted Fawn, Tim Spear. Well, Tim Spears, LOL. Thank you for the 5 by 5 everyone. Right, cheers. The hell, that's an interesting one. Thomas Blemming, thank you for the 7.26 by 39. Warden, South Florida. DeBert, J. Moore, CNC, Bob, Windflower. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Jessica, buy the book. Oops. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Wreck Toes, thank you for the 10 by 10s. Scorpion Tiger, thank you for the 8 by 8. Teddy Roosevelt, sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate, really? Um, Backwoods Living, thank you for the 5 by 5. Drew, Water the Tree. Mary Mouse. Finley the Dog. Stefano, if I said that right. Irene. William K. Good Enough. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Jankman, Bob. Princess Buttercup. K-Man. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Jet Mech, sorry. Jason Jones. Lisa. Josie, thank you for the 5 by 5. Rona. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Sean, Storm, Iowa. Deanna. There's a couple Deannas in here. Arthur, thank you for the 5 by 5. L, thank you for the 5 by Rosie O'Donnell. Appreciate that. Thank you for the spam by 3. Block him. Nice. All right, guys. Bob, thank you for the 5 by 5. Mickey, thank you for the 556 by 556. Sean, yes. Being cute with the 5 by 5. Appreciate it. All right. All right. And Tony, thank you for the big dude by big dude. That almost sounds gay. But anyway, Loretta, thank you for explaining to those who don't know what 5 by 5 means. It just means loud and clear. Margaret Thatcher, thank you for the 666 by 666. And Scarlett, thank you for the 5 by 5. I tell you, the chat on this app that I'm using, it's called Ecamm. Sort of sucks. I wish they would fix it because it's kind of fucking slow. But enough of that bullshit. Let's see. X out of that. And let's get it started. So, guys, like I said, I will not be looking. I'll be glancing at the chat over here, not so much on my screen. So again, if it seems like I'm ignoring you, I definitely am. Erisa, thank you for the 1,000 by 1,000. How the hell did you say that name? Erica. My God, I'm retarded. Thank you for the 1,000 by 1,000. She spelled it Erica, not the normal spelling. Anyway, guys, let's get on with the fucking show. Again, we got a ton of shit to cover. There's a lot of rumors. There are rumors that are being confirmed. There are things that are going on that I I hate to say this part, but the reason why everybody is glued to this um, issue going on in the Middle East right now is because it's biblical. And so everybody's talking about the biblical aspect of it. And like I said last night, um, we got to, I would say, look beyond it because there's also a couple of other things going on that I am almost 1,000% sure this was made to happen, or this is the Pearl Harbor of the Middle East, if you will, right? A lot of people came to the conclusion that the Middle East is that Pearl Harbor was happened because they let it happen. With all the intel that they were getting, military back then didn't think that that was a possibility, that the Japanese would make their way across the ocean and then bomb Pearl Harbor. In essence, they let it happen. The same thing with Israel is that it happened because they let it happen. And if you read a couple of articles, they're trying to say now that they didn't think it would happen because it was too big of a scale. That this was too grand of a scale for anything like this, and that the Israelis downplayed this happening. So with that, yeah. So just keep that in the back of your head, because everybody, the entire intelligence community, is wondering how they let this happen, being that there were way too many moving parts, and this went down. And we're going to get into that a little further down the line. So anyway, let's start out with the barbarianism that we are starting to hear reports of. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this outright, guys. That's my point. That this is biblical, but I'm wondering if this is made to look biblical, and this is a stage. This is set by those. Remember, guys, multiple times in the Bible it warns about false prophecy, right? And that certain things are going to happen, but I'm looking at this as such because this looks like it was set in motion by people who had the chance to stop it and didn't. And now here we are. Anyway, like everyone is saying, or Miss John Johnson saying, time will tell whether or not this is truly biblical or not. So, guys, let's start out with the obvious. 300,000 reservists in Israel have been mobilized. They're requesting everybody to get Israelis, and I even heard, I think I misheard it, but even people here in the United States are being activated, if you will, to go back to Israel and help fight. I thought I heard that in the news today, but I could be wrong, so don't hold me on that. Now, guys, like Prepper Now did an action report, I think yesterday, because I was watching it this morning. He stated it perfectly, actually, and I'm going to botch it up right now. But the information that's in front of me is as real time as I can get it. And so if I fuck something up or I mess something up, please let me know in the comments section, not the chat, or email me later, and I'll correct it if I got anything wrong. I am way too. This is why I don't want to read the fucking chats, because someone's breaking my balls about my chair. It's fucking. It's peel. Whatever. We're not going to get into that. Let's focus on this, and then we'll discuss my chair some other time. Civilians in Gaza are being told, if you stay, you will die, and they're being told that by the Israelis. The newspapers around the world are blaming Netanyahu for this catastrophic failure of information not getting out. Foreign Affairs Minister, if I'm not mistaken, where is blaming Europe for this whole mess. I don't understand how. And we had a grandmother who outsmarted terrorists in her own home. Now, there is a video circulating, guys, about where Hamas goes into a home and there's an ailing old woman, bedridden, actually, sick, and they actually give her a pass. How nice of them. How nice of them. But not the point. The bigger problem is, guys, is that Hamas is starting to off their so-called hostages. But again, I'm not going to address that. But again, we have to be careful about the information we're getting from all sides. From after action reports, from media, from fucking RT News, whoever you follow, you got to be careful about the information we're getting. Now, apparently, we have seen photos and videos of bodies. I'm trying to be careful what I say, because if they demonetize this video, guys, when you demonetize a video, not only does it affect money, which is not important, it affects the viewership. A demonetized video gets shown less. That's why I'm trying to be careful of what I'm saying, because I don't want this to be demonetized because the message and the information I feel is important. All right, so I'm going to navigate what I'm going to say next very carefully because we have seen a lot of bodies that are not moving, right? Dead. We have seen a lot of those. But they can continue to tell us that there are more of these bodies being found, and I take issue with it if I don't see videos or pictures. Big Chap, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get a chair eventually, please. With the chair, you know, it's even my brother looked at it the other day and he was like, "What the fuck's going on with that chair?" It has AIDS. Leave it alone. Anyway, so being that we already seen pictures of a few of these, it's easy now for propaganda media, whether that's Israelis, United States, Russia, Chinese, to sit there and tell us there are more of these bodies without showing us. And a lot of people are going to take it at face value, whatever's said. What I'm going to touch on right now, guys, you know, it's going to be a sensitive matter for a lot of you folks, not so much myself. But supposedly, reports are 40 bodies of babies have been found, and some of them were decapitated. So I have a friend who looks up these kind of videos all the time, and I have him actively looking for the video so that I can confirm whether or not that is true. Because once that statement, guys, gets out there in the open, once people say, well, 40 kids were offed, and some of them were without heads, a lot of people are going to, because of emotions, because of emotions, they're going to sit there and believe it right out of the gates. I'm one of those guys, I have to see proof. If I don't see it, I don't believe it kind of deal, because you can, again, you could say whatever you want, and with the emotion button, people are going to believe you. How can someone have a barbecue knowing your fellow citizens are being slaughtered? I don't know, South Florida. I don't know. But again, there's a lot of this information that's going to be thrown out there, guys. And I think it's going to be thrown out there just to invoke emotions, to get people riled up. Right now, the protest downtown, I didn't go the last couple of days because I know through human nature that the tempers are going to start flaring up probably tomorrow. So I'm going to make my way down there tomorrow and see if I can get in the middle of it, and not get in the middle of it by taking sides, because I'm not. Though I'm not happy. I'm not that Hamas is the enemy without a doubt, but I'm not there to take sides. I'm there to show you guys what's going on. So yes, with that, guys, I need proof. And so again, I have a buddy looking up these videos and or pictures to see if he could find any. I asked him earlier before the video, just so that I can confirm it before video, and he stated that he couldn't find any. So we just got to keep that in mind, guys. If they could tell us anything about kids, and because a lot of us have kids, we're going to sit there and go, holy shit, look what they're doing to kids. We don't know. Right now, that's just a report with no pictures. Don't get in trouble. That's my middle name, Adriano, Trouble. But I will try to avoid it because like I said, I'm just going to film it. I'm going to stand in the middle-ish, and, you know, as middle as I can get, because I know they're still letting traffic go through. I don't want to get hit by a car. So I'll be leaning on somebody's side. Fatty McButterpants, the email is angryprepper@yahoo.com. I did change it from Gmail. I'll explain in another video or two why I changed it from Gmail. Sorry. It used to be angryprepper@gmail. Now it's angryprepper@yahoo.com. If you want to send me anything, please do. You know, again, anything with corrections or to tell me to go fuck myself, just email me. I like those emails. Go fuck yourself. I'm like, yes, I got to somebody. But anyway. So now there's a suggestion being thrown out there, guys. Um, there's a suggestion being thrown out there that they want to start bombing Iran. If you say Iran, they get really annoyed when they do. It was a basketball player that said Iran, and they were like, "It's not Iran, it's Iran." I'm like, "Shut up, you twat." It was a reporter that was correcting him. It was like an American basketball player, and he said Iran, and the guy was like, "It's Iran. Stop disrespecting us. Shut up." And this is the problem I have with a lot of different countries around the world, whether it's Muslim or Russian. You say something wrong, they feel the need to correct you. Go fuck yourself. I'm American. I'm going to pronounce it Iran. And now I pronounce it Iran on purpose when I know it's Iran. But I pronounce it Iran just to piss them off because that's just the kind of asshole I am. I'm a special asshole. Now, guys, the suggestion of bombing or taking out Iran through way of nuclear weapons. That is dangerous talk. We're going to get into that in a little bit as to what kind of event they want to happen in Iran. If we go that route, guys, if we go that route with Iran and we start lobbing nukes at them, we're talking about an entirely different ballgame now. Entirely different ballgame. And that's going to be very, very dangerous. They also want to destroy their oil fields. Now imagine oil prices at the prices they are right now. Now you want to destroy their oil fields? Oh, God. UT video about 2 nuclear bombers. Scorpion Tiger, yes. So according to Angryprepper, the 2 bombers are there already. So why are they moving bombers in play? And then this lady, who's a lawmaker in Israel, brings up them wanting to bomb Iran, or take out Iran, rather. So that's a problem. That's a big issue. So something is definitely gearing up to go down. I am not saying it's going to happen, but the probability of it happening is a lot higher than it was a couple of days ago, right? What's going on, McBean? And nice job at the that other old people event you did, that old people Olympics you did the other day. Nice job. Multiple countries right now, guys, are joining in to help Israel or aid them. And a lot of countries are looking to aid them, sending medical supplies and things of that nature. I think we're sending over more weapons in cash and medical aid. I think France and Switzerland are sending over medical aid. NATO is looking to help or figuring out where they can help. NATO gets involved. Again, this becomes a game changer. Iran helping out is the bad part, guys. That means they set in motion. They did this on purpose, and they knew that this was going to get back to them and that they're perfectly fine with it. That means Iran has an ulterior motive behind what happens next. That's how I'm looking at it. Biden is getting, okay, so this is like unrelated, so to speak, but Biden is getting the 2 wars mixed up. He keeps mentioning Ukraine when he means to say Israel. Go figure that, right? I mean, the guy's old, right? But the guy is old, and he's, of course, getting 2 wars mixed up. But he's also, apparently yesterday or today, maybe it was today, he had a meeting of some kind, and he was just like, they were asking him these questions about Israel, and he goes, I'm going to have ice cream. Now, he didn't say I was going to have ice cream, but he called it a day, and he went to his room or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why this man's still there. A lot of people, guys, are seeming to think that Taiwan is next. Who the fuck knows? Taiwan was supposedly next when Ukraine went down. But everybody is making valid points. I'm not saying anyone's wrong. Even the Canadian dude. I'm not saying he's wrong. But you could throw shit at a wall long enough, something is going to stick. And of course, guys, a broken clock is right twice a day. So clearly, we can all keep saying, Taiwan's going to get raided, Taiwan's going to get invaded. Of course they're going to get invaded, eventually. But being that all eyes are on the Middle East right now, the Chinese could be like, ha ping, ching, ching, ping, and they can go and invade Taiwan. And that's their code, by the way, to invade Taiwan. But anyway, a lot of people are fearing that's next. Now, if Taiwan does get invaded, guys, there's no way we can help out. We can help out at minimal efforts, but not the way the Chinese have their game plan for Taiwan. They got this sick, insane game plan for Taiwan where they surround the island with battleships and subs. We don't have that much support. We've given away most, if not a lot, of our weaponry. So, yeah, man, that's bad. I don't know how we're gonna help if Taiwan does get invaded. I really don't know how that's gonna work out. Where are we? The U.S. strike group is currently on its way, or they are there right now in Israel or the Middle Eastern region. There was a Saudi prince stating he stands with Palestine in their endeavor to achieve their rights. Again, for people who concur with Palestine, you are encouraging Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas runs the Gaza Strip area, if not Palestine as a whole, which Palestine still has their government in play, but Hamas runs a lot of the action that goes there in the Gaza Strip. There was a Palestinian political leader who was asked on BBC News if he condemns what's going on, if he condemns Hamas's actions, and the Palestinian politician was like, that's not an important question. You shouldn't ask that question. Why would you ask me that question when you never asked the questions of Israeli leaders when they bombed Palestine and they went down this whole thing? Now, I do agree with him to a point where he's like, how come they never ask Israeli politicians when they do shit to Palestine? And yes, guys, I do understand that Israel has done some horrendous shit to Palestine and vice versa. Again, not for me to get in the middle of a 3,500 year war. These people hate each other so much, it's embedded in their DNA. I think these people are born hating each other because it's ingrained in their DNA. Not embedded, but ingrained. Anyway, with that, guys, the Saudi prince stating this, again, he's stating that Palestine should achieve their goals. Hamas is a terrorist group that fucks with their own people, kills their own people. If you don't abide by their rules, like the Taliban, you get offed. You go missing. This is what Hamas is doing. So how does anyone back Palestine when Hamas is the one calling the shots right now and not the Palestinian government? Right now in Palestine, their political structure is disgusting and destroyed. But some Palestinian leaders seem to agree with Hamas, and then you have other Palestinian leaders that do not agree with Hamas. So their whole thing is fucked up over there. Now, Jordan, the country of Jordan, or Jordan, because God forbid you say it wrong, they're allowing U.S. military aircrafts to land in their backyard. So they're opening up and they're letting military vehicles in Jordan right now. That is a tactical and strategic move, guys. If and when that is happening right now, if Jordan and other countries are allowing the U.S. to stage their weapons, vehicles, and aircrafts there, this is going to turn into a shit show in the next week or so. I wouldn't say the next couple of months, but I would definitely see the next week. And of course, Thomas Blemming, I go, if you're not freeing Palestine, idiot, Hamas is bad for Palestine. Now, if the Palestinian people want to uprise and free themselves, fine, so be it. But there's always an idiot that doesn't know the dynamics, and I barely understand the dynamics of what's going on there in their political thing. Thomas Blemming and people like him definitely don't. And no, I did not mean Michael Jordan. But every time I think of Jordan or Jordan, excuse me, it's I think of Michael Jordan. Whatever. So, guys, again, a lot of hostages are now being offed. Hamas has threatened to live stream a lot of the dispatching of people. They're going to live stream the dispatching of children and this is coming from Hamas. If they do this, the whole free Palestine goes right out of the windows. Right out of the fucking windows. So people have to be careful about that, because once you start doing this live stream shit and putting it on TV, you have changed the dynamics of this war forever. Because they will light up Gaza Strip if that happens. Guys, do me a favor. If you do not mind, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. If I'm pissing you off because I hate, Palestine or whatever it is, whatever. Again, guys, I'm not trying to take sides, but I'm also not going to sit there and condemn. I'm not going to sit there and act like what Hamas is doing is great. They're not. They're not freedom fighters. They're not fighting for the cause. They're fighting because they wholeheartedly hate Israel. Period. All right, and granted, again, Israel is not innocent either. I have to say that because I read a lot of shit and talked to people who lived in Palestine and Israel and Israelis. Israel's not innocent at all either. All right, so let me state that. Now, guys, getting into the meat of a lot of the shit that's going on that we're going to discuss. We're almost at the half-hour mark. So Palestine receives armored vehicles and weapons from the United States with Israel's approval. This article is today. So let's go. I'm only reading a couple paragraphs. I'm not reading the whole fucking thing because we will be here all night trying to figure this bullshit out. Informed Palestinian sources yesterday revealed that Palestinian authorities received a number of armed vehicles and weapons to support its security service, police. The Preventative Security Force, National Security Service, and the police, with the approval of Israel and the U.S. So the Israel said, God bless. Here goes your weapons and your armored vehicles. And they're now using some of these armored vehicles in the war against Israel. How's that for timing? Anyway. So, yeah. The sources told the local Al-Qud newspaper that the armored vehicles and weapons will be used to enforce law and order in areas under Palestinian security control. So now, there goes the contradictory of it. These vehicles are only in Palestinian security controlled areas. Hamas, for example, has Gaza Strip. They control that whole area. But there are areas where Palestinian security does control the rest of that, keeping Hamas at bay. Keep in mind, guys, Hamas went into Palestine, went into the Gaza Strip, and fucking attacked back in 2007 and took that area over from the Palestinian government. Palestinian government has not condemned the actions of Hamas. At least I haven't read anything. And if it did happen, again, please email me at angryprepper@yahoo.com. So now, this is a new article, EU suspends development aid to Palestine. This sent a lot of people in a tizzy, apparently. The European Commission announced on Monday, which was yesterday, that it will suspend development aid to Palestine after its recent development in Israel. Again, keep in mind, it was Hamas who set this shit off. The Palestinian government had to have known this was going on as well, but I don't want to go down that road. EU Commissioner for Neighborhood, Oliver Yankenbaum, and that's not his last name, I just can't pronounce it, said on X, Twitter, that the EU executive body, the biggest donor of the Palestinians, put a hold on its funding development portfolio, which is about $729 million. It's a drop in the bucket. The Gaza-based resistance group Hamas launched an Operation Al-Qais flood against Israel early Saturday, firing a barrage of rockets. It said that the surprise attack was in response to a storming of the Al-Qais mosque in occupied eastern Jerusalem and increased settler violence. This is why Hamas attacked. This is what they're saying now. At least 800, is more than that now. It's close to 1,100 Israelis have been killed and over 25 or 2,700 were wounded in fighting, according to the Israel Ministry of Health. This was yesterday, and the numbers went up today. Palestinian Health Ministry said that over 560 Palestinians have passed away and over 3,000 were wounded. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Israeli army confirmed that it hit several targets in Lebanon with combat helicopters because Lebanon lobbed a bunch of missiles at Israel. So Israel responded in kind. Well, not in kind. They used combat helicopters or Apaches or whatever they had. Israeli targeted the outskirts of the southern town of Markwani with phosphorus bombs, said Lebanon's national news agency. Palestinian Islamic Jihad group Hamas claimed responsibility for the operation it carried out in southern Lebanon against Israeli soldiers. I didn't dive into that, but apparently there were some Israeli soldiers that were killed out in Lebanon. At least 50 Palestinians were off and 120 were injured in an Israeli airstrike on the public market area in the Jabali refugee camp. Again, guys, sorry for butchering a lot of this shit. I even tried to pronounce it before I went on air. I was just like, Jibaki, Bapit. I was like, whatever. Israeli army claimed that it had managed to reclaim region control in a settlement near the border of Gaza from Palestinian Hamas fighters. Israeli airstrike since Saturday has destroyed 7 mosques in the Gaza Strip. Now, I noticed that the articles keep mentioning how many mosques were hit in Gaza. I know that it's like their temple, but I wonder if there's any code behind it because they keep bringing up the fact, guys, that mosques were hit in Gaza Strip. As if they're trying to say, start a holy war, they're destroying your holy buildings. Because every article that stands on the side of Palestine, or Muslims for that matter, keep bringing up how many mosques are hit. I find that to be interesting. Instead of mentioning the amount of people that were killed, which they do, and focusing on that, they keep focusing on the mosques. But again, that's my conspiracy theory brain firing off. Kathy, I haven't actually spoken to her about it. I haven't spoken to her about it at all. But I know that because she is Jewish, she definitely feels a certain way about it. But she's also not all in like other Jews are. And I'll explain why in a little bit if I remember later. So let's see. Where the fuck were we at? Okay, Israeli attacks have put Beit Houtin Hospital in the Beit Houtin Hospital in the northern Gaza Strip out of commission, unable to serve people who need medical attention. Now, I don't think it was hit directly, but it was damaged from the surrounding bombings. About the ongoing conflict in the region, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, we are going to change the Middle East. Add fuel to the fire. Let's not try to look for peace. Let's add fuel to the fire and fuck it up even more. Israeli airstrike destroyed a large part of the Al-Rahim neighborhood in Gaza City, leading to widespread internet and communication outage. Now, we're going to talk about in a little bit something that Israel did to the Gaza Strip, which now people are stating they're in outrage by it because they're cutting off their food, water, internet, and fuel. We're going to get in that in a little bit. Again, guys, we got a lot to cover. I'm trying not to race through it, but I'm also trying to be patient about what I'm reading. So now, this is international reactions from around the world. After the glass doors of a Jewish kosher restaurant was smashed in northern London, London Mayor Saidi Khan states there is no tolerance for hate in our city. Israeli French reservists in France are heading to Tel Aviv to join the Israeli army as the conflict escalates, which this conflict is going to escalate beyond belief. Thursday night, if not tomorrow night, if something bad happens tomorrow, which I'm hoping not, but if it does, tomorrow night will be an emergency live stream. We're going to talk about how and what we need to do next. Switzerland, of course, urges both Hamas and Israel armies to protect civilians and de-escalate the situation ASAP. Of course, Switzerland's going to say that. Why would they get in the middle of anything? A rally at the Bangladesh Majority Party condemned Israeli attack on Gaza and urged the Muslim world to ensure the safety of Palestinians and their rights. Now, this is interesting because Bangladesh Majority Party condemned Israelis' attack on Gaza. If you get attacked, whether you're in the right or not, you're going to react. I don't care who you are. So the fact that Bangladesh Majority Party is condemning Israelis' attack, that's like saying they should have took the attack, the initial attack, and then turned the other cheek. They're not fucking Gandhi, dude. They're not Martin Luther King. They're Israel. They're going to respond. But I also feel that other countries, if they were picked on by Israel, they should respond in kind as well, right? But the taking sides and the blindness of it all from both sides, from the Israeli sides and the Palestinian sides, is out of control. What's going to happen next, guys, is going to be nothing short of a nightmare for the rest of the world if Russia gets involved. If Iran starts lobbing missiles, it's going to turn into a nightmare, and everybody is going to regret what happens next. There is a way to stop this, but Israel doesn't want to, and Hamas is egging them on. I think what we see next is going to be it's going to be really bad. Now, U.S. congressional or congresswoman urges an end to financial support for Israel. Listen, I don't like this congresswoman, but I agree with her. We should not be supporting Israel financially. We shouldn't be supporting the Ukraine financially. We shouldn't be supporting any other country financially, being that we are in debt of $33 trillion, give or take. It could be 34, it could be 31, but $33 trillion. And my buddy sent me a link in regards to the debt this country's in. $33 trillion, we shouldn't be giving anybody anything. We shouldn't even be giving Mobutu in Africa a fucking grain of rice with $33 trillion in debt. So again, guys, I hate to agree with this fucking politician, but she is right. U.S. Congresswoman called for an end to Washington's financial support of Israel amid the ongoing war on the besiege of Gaza Strip and the occupied Palestine territory. Now, interestingly enough, guys, the storyline is starting to shift from Israel being attacked to now Israel picking on the Gaza Strip. I find that to be very entertaining because what they're trying to do is they're trying to shift the blame now. They're like, well, they attacked them, but they only attacked them for one day. It was like when Pearl Harbor attacked us for the one day. You awaken a sleeping giant. And that's what Israel is, at least to Palestine. They're a sleeping giant. All right, let's see. Where the fuck did I leave off? Okay, Cory Bush pointed out that the violation of human rights should not be used to justify further violations, and military responses would intensify the suffering of both Palestinians and Israelis. She is right, because both sides are going to suffer regardless. Regardless of what happens next, everybody in that region is going to pay for it. And then that's going to trickle down over to us and other places around the world, especially if we go after their oil fields, Iranian oil fields. Our ultimate focus must be on a just and lasting peace that ensures safety for everyone in that region, Bush stated. As a part of achieving a just and lasting peace, we must do our part to stop these violence and traumas by ending U.S. government support for Israel's military occupation and apartheid. I hate when they say that about the apartheid thing, but I know that Israel has been a bag of dicks in the past. I haven't heard anything recently of them, but whatever. Rockets fired into Israel from Lebanon as worries mount for new front opens. A lot of people seem to think that Israel is going to turn their focus on Lebanon I don't see how that's possible. They are discussing how they can turn their sights on Iran. I don't see how that's possible. Anyway, it was not immediately clear if the rockets were launched by Hezbollah, which controls the southern borders of Lebanon. A barrage of rockets was fired from Lebanon into the northern Israel Monday rather. Sorry. Within an hour, there were a number of suspects who had breached the Israeli-Lebanon border and were inside Israel. Now, I remember I told you about Hezbollah stepping up and helping. This is what it looks like. Now, I told you that I wasn't sure what capacities they were going to help, whether they're going to be support or get into the fight. It looks like they're getting into the fight. The IDF said it had quickly neutralized those who came in from the north border. A video on social media shows the apparent Hezbollah watchtower along with Lebanon border being obliterated by Israeli rocket fires. 3 IDF soldiers were injured in the exchange of gunfire during the incident. Residents in the north were told to stay locked inside their homes as gunfires and explosions were heard across the border. Meanwhile, alarms were blaring in the, Metfo Hermon Regional Council in the town of Yittaf and Ramat. So, don't know what the fuck that means. Please don't make me say that again. Air raid sirens were also heard across Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, including the IDF and reports on social media. Now, I'm going to read something off first. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go down the way I have it set. So now we're going to jump to Egypt. Egyptian intelligence officials say Israel ignored reports of warning of something big. Mounting questions over Israel's massive intelligence failure to anticipate and prepare for the surprise Hamas assault were compounded Monday when Egyptian intelligence official said that Jerusalem had ignored repeated warnings that the Gaza-based terrorist group Hamas was planning something big, which included the apparent direct notice of Cairo's intelligence ministry to the prime minister. Egyptian officials said Egypt, which offers services as a mediator between Israel and Hamas, had spoken repeatedly with Israel about something big coming their way. He said Israel's officials were focused on the West Bank and played down the threat of Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, government is made of supporters of the West Bank settlers who have demanded a security crackdown in the face of rising tide of violence over the last 18 months. So while they were looking at the West Bank, the Gaza Strip let them have it. Now again, guys, I told you this before, I wasn't buying their bullshit, and lo and behold, this article comes out about the Egyptians giving them warning. Now again, Egyptians warned them, but I am pretty sure that the Israelis knew about this as well and downplayed this so that they could, one, I think, again, my opinion, have a war start so that they can wipe the Gaza Strip off the map and expand Israel. 2, start the false prophecies ahead of time. Or 3, make money. Because apparently, guys, the stock market, which was supposed to take a dip over this, didn't. In fact, finished 134 points or 140 points over its initial opening. I thought the market was going to take a nosedive Monday, and according to the Wall Street Journal and the futures, they were supposed to open at minus 200 points. But instead, they dipped 64 points in opening and then finished 134 points above. Something doesn't sound right. Anyway, Benjamin Netanyahu denies receiving any such advance warning, saying in the course of an address to the nation Monday night, he said it was fake news. So now he's calling Egypt liars. This is only going to get worse. It's only going to get fucking worse. Because Egypt is saying they warned you, and now Netanyahu was like, they didn't have that. That's fake news. So again, guys, that's going to get really interesting. Because again, now he's calling Egypt liars. But so now, denying Gaza water, food, electricity is not appropriate, according to Joseph Borrell, who is the EU Foreign Policy Commissioner, said Israel has its right to self-defend, but some of the decisions in the government has made are contrary to international humanitarian laws. So right now, according to Joseph Borrell, who is the EU Foreign Policy Commissioner, Israel right now are breaking international humanitarian laws. So then hook them up. Israel has the right to defend itself, but it has to be done in accordance with international humanitarian laws. And some decisions are contra this international laws. All right, whatever. Both EU and the GCC have condemned terrorist actions by Hamas, but also condemn any attacks on civilians, demand the immediate release of all hostages, and call for Israel to respect international laws and not block the delivery of food, water, and electricity. And of course, they mention the internet. Like the internet's like the least of your problems. But whatever, they kept writing on the internet. They don't have internet. So what? The kids can't game? Oh, God forbid. Water and electricity is a little more important than gaming, but whatever. Now, while we are all watching the Israeli Gaza or Palestine war going on, Hamas war, satellite images showed spike in border activity as North Korea supplies weapons to Russia for the Ukraine war. The North Korean-Russian border is seeing a sharp increase in rail traffic in likely signs of Kim Jong-un helping Russia, President Vladimir Putin, by supplying munitions across the border. And this is what the U.S. think tank claims. Now, listen, it could be bullshit. It could be right. But remember, there were reports about 3 months ago, which every pro-Russian supporter was saying was bullshit, was saying that the Russians were running out of munitions and vehicles, that they were getting destroyed in that front. Well, this seemingly ties into that because North Korea is supposedly sending them weapons, according to satellite imaging that they show online. But again, what I'm looking at online, they could be showing me a fucking picture of Sesame Place, and I wouldn't know the difference. Satellite images October 5th showed a dramatic and unprecedented level of freight railcar traffic at the, forgive me for this, Tumunga Rail Facility, according to Beyond Parallel, a website that's run by Washington-based Center of Strategic and International Studies. Approximately 73 rail cars are visible in the image from last week, whereas previous satellite pictures only had about 20 rail cars. It is not immediately clear what the contents of the railway shipments are, as the shipment crates are covered in tarpaulin or tarps. Yeah, I'm gonna err on the side of caution and be like, they're supplying the Russians. Kim Jong-un fires top general and orders North Korean military leaders to step up their war plan. Now, Angryprepper, because of him, I looked this up because of him. He states that he thinks North Korea is going to make a move on South Korea with all of this going on. Could be an interesting rest of this year. Now, keep in mind, guys, there was something to be said about the end of the year and a nuclear device going off. At least somebody was prophesizing this. Matter of fact, it was that old Russian lady, I think, with the no eyes, who foresaw nuclear weapons being used in this year, at the end of this year, rather. Sorry. So we are definitely headed down that road. Let's see if we can not have that happen. I doubt it very much. Anyway, Kim pointed at the South Korean capital, Seoul, and its surrounding area on the map at a meeting with generals in a picture released by state media. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un dismissed his country's top generals and ordered the military to step up war preparations in an offensive way. Offensive way. Calling bullshit. Super chat. Yeah, Turkey and Greece might be next too as well, because there's been increased tension between Greece and Turkey. And I only learned that when I was in Greece on a boat ride. The captain had mentioned that. So that was something to note. And I forgot to talk about that when I got back, but thank you for bringing that up. Kim held a meeting at the Central Military Commission in the country's capital in Pyongyang on Wednesday and discussed plans against its enemy, South Korea. Kim pointed at Seoul and its surrounding areas and map in front of uniformed generals. General Pak Soo-II II was also removed from his post as chief of general staff after 7 months. He's removing general. That is very, very, very extremely bad. Extremely fucking bad. Because again, guys, if South Korea gets attacked, who's going to help them? So this could be a coordinated attack, but if North Korea makes a move on South Korea, China is undoubtedly going to make a move on Taiwan. So this is very, very, very bad. If he's making an offensive, plan or an attack plan, we could possibly be seeing South Korea get invaded, and Taiwan get invaded, Ukraine overrun. The stage is set, guys, for World War III. It's absolutely set. No one is saying it out loud just yet, but the stage is set, or the table is set, however the fuck you want to look at. We are undoubtedly heading down this World War III road. Now, whether or not we use nukes, the probability of nukes being used is astronomically high. Astronomically high, guys. We are in a game-changing way right now, because we are seeing people and tension around the world grow. We're watching countries planning to invade other countries. We're watching tensions between other countries rise as well. I am waiting for India and China to go after it right now. China can handle a two-front war. They can handle warring with India, which I think they would steamroll. At least they would steamroll India's border. And they can also afford Taiwan. If India and China's tensions grow and rise, there's no stopping anything that happens next. There is no call for peace. And the draft, guys, that they've been talking about here in the United States and talking about reinstating, we don't have the manpower to fucking get these kids in the draft. These kids today are fucking gigantic pussies. They get hit right now, or you spit a spitball at them, and they're crying on the floor, holding their forehead, "Oh, mommy," and screaming for their mothers. We got a fucking nation of bitches. The only fucking tough kids I know are the fucking kids that I've been around, at least here. They're not going to fight for this country. We got too many people that hate this country to fight for this country. We are undoubtedly fucking. We have to draft kids. We're going to have so many kids offing themselves so that they don't serve. It's going to be out of control. Out of control. You're going to have kids all of a sudden become transgender. Because according to, if I'm not mistaken, transgenders can't fight in war. They can't go across the pond, if you will, to fight. Guys, we are fucking 1,000% fucked. Like screwed. If we have to call these kids to fight. Yeah, a nation of bitches is like an understatement, man. Understatement. I just don't understand. Whatever. All right, guys. Now this is going to get interesting. It gets interesting right here. Pay close attention to what I say next, because this is setting the stage with many. Israel officials call for doomsday nuclear missile option. And one Israeli lawmaker is calling for her nation's military to use nuclear warfare in response to the attack by Hamas. The lady's name is Ratal Gottlieb, or nicknamed Tali, an Israeli lawmaker and member of the Knesset of the Likud, published a multiple post advocating for forceful retaliation following the surprise attack on Gaza on Saturday, or on Israel rather, on Saturday, at the hands of the militant Palestinian group designated as a terrorist organization by the United States. Now, a lot of people are not calling Hamas a terrorist group. For whatever reason, they're calling them freedom fighters. Am I buffering now? Yeah, we're going to run over a little bit. I'm going to make this actually the last thing I say, so maybe we'll finish on time, actually. Yeah, Mateo. They're so close. Yes, it's like nuking your own country. It's insane. Yes, guys. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. We're almost at 1,000 likes. This will probably be the first time I think I had 1,000. This is the first time I had this many people watching. But hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. Just do something. Helps with the algorithm. Please don't hit it with your nipple or your dick. Just hit it with your finger like a normal person. Maybe lick it if you want, but don't be sexual about it. Just hit the fucking button. Anyway, so guys, she is setting the stage for this talk. More than 1,600 combined Israelis and Palestinians have been reportedly off since Hamas launched an attack, according to the Associated Press, and hundreds of others have been injured. Hamas has reportedly taken unknown number of hostages as the conflict escalates. Now, guys, the hostages that have been taken, I do not see them going back home ever again. A lot of these guys had hate in their eyes when they took these women and kids. Hate. I do not see these people making it back home. I also see Israel propagandizing the rescue missions, stating that they've rescued people. But not everybody, but they're going to rescue these people. If Israel comes out with a report tomorrow or the next day or two that they saved all of the hostages, I'm going to call large, mega bullshit on it. A lot of these people are probably already not here with us. So, rescue missions, which the country right now, Israel, is scrambling to rescue the hostages, I do not see them saving a lot of them. Now, supposedly they rescued a couple. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see any videos or pictures, but we shall see. But, guys, according to this lady, she wants to flatten the Gaza Strip with nuclear capabilities. Israel should use, and this is what she's saying, Jericho missiles to level Gaza without mercy. Now, keep in mind, guys. Keep in mind. Patriot, 1983. I tend to agree with you for now, unless they produce pictures. Here's the problem. Leveling the Gaza Strip, you still have innocent women and kids on that side. What is that saying about both parties, guys? The Israelis and the Palestinians, if they want to level both sides. They want both innocent women and kids from both sides to die. I've never heard of such stupidity. I never heard of Israeli lawmakers and people saying we need to level Gaza and kill everyone over there. And then you have Palestinians in Gaza saying we need to level fucking Israel and kill every last one of them over there. The amount of hate on both sides is astonishing. But to use the nuclear option, to use tactical nukes, is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard, especially being that the Gaza Strip is right on the other side of them. Like a stone throw away. But this is what they want to do? So fucking be it. So be it. Listen, guys, I thought we were going to use a nuke in Ukraine first. Apparently, it looks like it's going to happen here first. The probability of it happening there is high now. It's way higher than it was fucking, again, a couple of days ago. Now, I do have to mention one thing, guys, because no one's talking about it. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. I should have a midweek report tomorrow, but it might be a little later. It might be at noon or 1. I have to an MRI tomorrow. So after that, I should be okay. Should be ready to rock and roll. But Afghanistan suffered a giant earthquake, and no one's talking about it. And I didn't get the numbers, but apparently over 1,000 people are dead, or is it 500? One of the two are dead. A lot of people, guys, are suffering in Afghanistan with the earthquake, and no one's talking about it because we're talking about this. So obviously, Afghan people are going to need help because no one's paying them any mind. Everybody's worried about Israel and the Gaza Strip or Palestine or Hamas. They're worried about the situation. Then they're worried about everybody else fucking getting involved. And other countries are getting involved, right? And if the Taliban makes their way to Israel or to the Gaza Strip, if the Taliban makes it up there, all hell's breaking loose. If Iran releases their Iranian soldiers to be used for this war, all hell's going to break loose. Vet Prep said 2,000 dead, so 2,000 people, and Viking Prepper said 2,500. Are dead in Afghan over this earthquake, and yet no one's talking about it. And it was a 6.3, and I know that they had multiples after that. Or 6.5 the other day. Right, they had multiple earthquakes. That I know. I didn't get to read it. But yeah, at least 1,000 dead. All right, so it was 1,000 dead. Adriana saying 2,000. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of dim motherfuckers out there, and we're worried about this shit, right? And this is very concerning as well, guys, because again, if you believe in the Bible, this is fucking prophecies unfolding in front of you. A lot of what's going to happen next, guys, on this planet is going to be biblical. And I am not saying for a lot of you to run to the Bible right now. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. This biblical unfolding event, guys, that are going on is fucking insane. And I'm going to tell you right now, if a natural disaster stops this thing dead in its tracks, everybody better start looking at the Bible a lot fucking closer. That's all I'm going to say. Brian said 2,100, said 2,145 people exactly have been dead. Adriana is now said, reading now, 2,000. All right. JB said 3,000. Let's just keep the numbers going up while we're fucking at it. 10 the man said, free Palestine. Again, for those who say free Palestine, you clearly don't know what's going on or the dynamics of what's going on, or else you wouldn't be saying free Palestine. Because by saying free Palestine right now, you are you are giving Hamas a pass for their horrendous actions. 100,000 are dead now. Very good. We hit 100,000 dead Afghanis in this earthquake. But anyway, guys, oh man, it's 2:04. I'm going to head right over to the Angry Truth channel, guys. Right now, I'm going to start in about 1 minute. But thank you for the donations. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. Thank you for listening to me. I will see some of you guys over in the Angry Truth. If not, I will see the rest of you guys Thursday night for the double header. And tomorrow, I will have my Wednesday midweek report. And other than that, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for dealing with all this information. And I will see you guys tomorrow and the doubleheader Thursday, and see some of you guys in a minute.